The House will come to order. This morning, the pledge will be said by Brinley Rorda and Emerson Linda and Addison Walsh from Heritage Elementary School in Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job, you guys. Mr. Randall, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt, Baisley, Beckman, Benavides, Bird, Bockenfeld, Buck, Buckner, Buntale, Representative Buntale, Caraveo, Carver, Catlin, excused, Coleman, Cutter, Duran, Escar, Exum, Galindo, Garnett, Geithner, Gonzalez Gutierrez, Gray, Hanson, Herod, Putin, Humphrey, Jackson, Marquez Lewis, Kennedy,
Harlan,
Kip, Kraft Tharp, Landgraf, Representative Landgraf,
Representative Landgraf is excused. Oh,
Larson, Lewis, Liston, Lontine, McCluskey, McKean, McLaughlin, Melton, Michelson Janae, Mullica, Neville, Pelton, Representative Pelton, Rankin, Ransom, Rich, Roberts, Sane, Sandridge, Singer, Singer,
Representative Singer is excused.
Sirota, Snyder, Soper, Sullivan. Tipper. Tatone. Valdez A. Valdez D. Van Winkle. Weissman. Williams. Wilson. Madam Speaker.
Here. With 62 members present, 3 excused, we have a quorum. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move we proceed to consideration of House Memorial 1001.
We will proceed to consideration of memorials. Members, this is a Okay, yeah.
I will withdraw my. All right, great.
Okay, so members, this is a memorial for a former member. If you could return to your seats, we're going to have a memorial for a former member. Mr. Randall, please read House Memorial 1001 at length.
House Memorial 1001 by Representative Neville, memorializing former Speaker of the Colorado House of Representatives, John Furr. Whereas John Dale Furr, the former Speaker of the Colorado House of Representatives, departed this life on February 1st, 2017, at the age of 88. And whereas Representative Furr was born in Aledo, Illinois, on September 9th, 1928. And whereas after receiving his bachelor's degree in animal husbandry from Iowa State University in 1951, Representative Furr moved to Colorado, where he went on to earn a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree from Colorado State University in 1956. And whereas, while attending Colorado State University, Representative Furr met Adrienne Van Meter, the loving wife to whom he was happily married for 40 years. And whereas, Representative Furr opened the Broadview Kennels and Veterinary Clinic after graduating from CSU, and, over the years, had several other businesses, including the Aurora Veterinary Clinic and cattle ranches in Kiowa and Greeley. And whereas Representative Furr was always looking for ways to make his community better. And while living in Aurora, he served as president of the Aurora Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary Club, and the Shrine Club, and worked with the United Fund, the March of Dimes, and other charities. And whereas in 1966, Representative Furr was elected to the first of 4 terms in the Colorado House of Representatives, representing Arapahoe, Douglas, and Elbert counties. And whereas during his last 2 terms in office, Representative Furr served as Speaker of the House of Representatives, where he was known as a man who put the institution of the legislature ahead of partisanship. And whereas former Governor Richard Lamb praised Representative Furr, saying he exemplified a time in politics when members of both parties could put aside partisanship and work together without rancor. And whereas, while serving as Speaker, Representative Furr was also a member of the Executive Committee of the National Conference of State Legislatures and became Vice President of the organization in 1972. And whereas after leaving the House of Representatives, Representative Furr continued his public service, serving on the State Board of Agriculture, the governing boards of Colorado State University, Fort Lewis College, and the University of Southern Colorado, the board of the Colorado State University Alumni Foundation, the President's Advisory Council on Economic Opportunity, and many other organizations. And whereas Representative Furr spent his last 13 years living in South Dakota, where he was surrounded by family and close friends, and continued to be active in his community as a member of the Rotary Club, the Men's Coffee Club, and Countryside Church. Now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 72nd General Assembly of the State of Colorado that in the death of John Furr, the people of the state of Colorado have lost a devoted public servant and an outstanding citizen, and that we, the members of the 72nd General Assembly, pay tribute to John Furr for his years of dedicated public service and do hereby extend our deep and heartfelt sympathy to the members of his family.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, please be seated. I move for the adoption of House Memorial 1001. Members, I never had the privilege to actually meet Speaker John Furr, but I think as the saying goes, and correctly, that we stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before us. as I read about his history and I've gotten to know his family briefly, it's truly a privilege to be the sponsor of this. And knowing what kind of man he was and what kind of things were said about him from people on the opposite side of the aisle, I think that's something that we can all try to exemplify in this chamber, that we might have policy disagreements, but we're all human beings at the end of the day. We can all get along with each other. I found it rather interesting that it was actually him and Governor Lamb, as you heard in the memorial, that were worked together. And he took a lot of flack from his own party for actually allowing the vote to stop the 1976 Olympics to come. And so for me, it was kind of comforting to know that I'm not the only one who is willing to buck my own party at times, but there are other people willing to do so, including the Speaker of the House. So it's absolutely my honor and privilege to present this memorial. But at this time, Madam Speaker, under House Rule 26F, I request a recess to allow former members to speak.
The House will be in recess. Are there any former members who would like to speak? Representative Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to introduce former Representative Paul Schauer.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here today and to make a few comments about an individual who was a former friend. I never served with John in the legislature. I came in after he had served as Speaker of the House. Just to give you some background on what people thought about him, besides what you heard in the memorial, John was a true Renaissance man who could fix anything, was able to lead people, projects, organizations, governmental bodies, and remain community and serve, can't read the rest of it, served reminds us that he had a skill that a lot of people don't have today. As was mentioned, he and Dick Lamb were good friends. They worked together. Dick had some very good comments about him and had hoped to be here today to be able to make some comments, but was unable to be here. But let me just read a couple of paragraphs of what Governor Lamb said about John. He said, "I know some Republicans went to him when I was in the middle of the Olympics battle, and they said, we have to shut down this guy," recalled Lamb, a Democrat, who led the controversial movement to decline Olympics. He was chairman of the Legislative Audit Committee at the time and went on to become governor. That was Dick Lamb. They wouldn't have let my bill go anyplace, he said. He should be heard. On what grounds would I take him off this committee? John was very active also in the community. He was very active in the Rotary Club. He served as I guess it's called the district president, which included about a half dozen surrounding states. He was very active, obviously, in the community with that's been mentioned, the Aurora Chamber of Commerce, and he was active with other Republican groups also. I first met him when I was active with the then Young Republicans, and he was always very supportive in inviting more people to come to get involved in the political process, and was one of the reasons that I became as active as I did. If you'd known John, you'd know a guy also that had a sense of humor and also was very, very, shall we say, courteous to everyone. I never knew him to get angry or to berate people. He really wanted to know who you were, what you needed, and if he could help you. He's an individual, I think, that when he was Speaker, it was a time when there were interesting occasions, interesting things going on. As has been mentioned, the Olympics took place then. The whole issue of education, public education, was an issue. And if you look at the issues that John was very involved with, obviously it was education. He carried legislation related to education, and he was known for his ability to lead without leading with a whip, but being able to lead with a carrot. I'd like to introduce, sitting on my right, on the side of is the family that was able to join us. So if you'd like to recognize them, would appreciate it. And when you reconvene, if you'd like to chat with them, they can tell you more about their speaker fur. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. If there are no former members, additional former members who would like to speak, then the House will come back to order, and we will open the floor for any current members who would like to speak. Seeing no other members who would like to speak, the motion before us is the adoption of House Memorial 1001. Seeing none, we are going to do a voice vote because the machine's not working properly right now. So all members, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. House Memorial 1001 is passed. Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the current roll call be added as co-sponsors.
If there's no objection, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors to House Memorial 1001. Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. At this time, I would like to introduce guests we have in the chamber today in honor of the memorial for former Speaker of the House, John Fear. If you guys could stand up as I introduce you, please. We have Mark Furr, who was the son of Speaker Furr. We have Christina Furr, Mark's wife. Brendan Furr, Mark's son and John's grandson, who's currently a college student at Colorado Christian. Aaron Furr, Chris's son and John's grandson. Allison Furr, Aaron Furr's wife. Libby Brown. And if you guys could please give them a hand.
Thank you for joining us. The House will be in a brief recess so members can greet our guests. Members, the House will come back to order. Representative Byrd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's a pleasure to serve with you.
It is a pleasure to serve with you, Representative.
Madam Speaker, I move that the reading of the Journal of Monday, January 14th, 2019 be dispensed with and approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Members, you've heard the motion that the journal be dispensed with and approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Oh, man. Representative Byrd. Ugh. The motion is passed. Announcements and introductions. Representative Sane.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a little bit of housekeeping. How many of you like to drink coffee? So I'm doing the lowest court announcement. The lowest court announcement is make sure you put a little bit of money in that tip jar because it is paid from the funds that we put in the jar next to the coffee. So just remember to do that. $20 is a suggested donation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Sane. Representative Kraft-Tharp.
Thank you. So I want to give some kudos and some credit today to our County Department of Human Services and our State Department of Human Services. As many of you know, we are in the middle of a federal partial government shutdown. And as part of that, those people who have to submit their redetermination application for food assistance have to do it early this year, and those applications are actually due today at noon. So this last weekend, the County Department of Human Services, most of our counties brought in their staff to call people to let them know that over the weekend. Our State Department of Human Services had about 50 people who volunteered their time, came in early on Sunday morning, came in on Saturday to make calls to people to have them make sure that they knew that redetermination letter had to be out today. And I know that our governor made a couple phone calls yesterday. I saw it on Facebook to people to show how important this is. So I just really want to say thank you to those people that are working really hard for the people of Colorado.
Thank you, Representative Kraft-Tharp.
Okay, and then I have a second announcement, Business Affairs and Labor Committee. We have a joint meeting today upon adjournment, and that will be in 271, which is now the, what's the name of it? The Old State Library, and that is in 271. So thank you very much.
Representative Lontine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the Health and Insurance Committee, today is a regularly scheduled meeting upon adjournment. However, we don't have anything calendared, so we will not be meeting this morning upon adjournment. We are meeting tomorrow at 1:30. We have 2 bills on the calendar. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but I will remind you all again tomorrow morning. So refer to your calendars. Thanks.
Representative, Madam Speaker Pro Tem Buckner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, members. You all should have received this invitation in your email and mailboxes. Join the Colorado Children's Campaign for breakfast this Thursday at 8 a.m. in the Rotunda and West Foyer of the Capitol. You'll see information on the 10 trends in child well-being, what every policymaker should know about children and Colorado kids in 2019. As you know, the Children's Campaign is a group that we work with a lot. We will get key information and go grab some coffee and breakfast and chat with these policy experts this Thursday, 8 to 9 in the Rotunda and West Foyer.
Representative Michelson-Jeannet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I just want to lift up what Representative Buckner just said. This is really important. You received a piece of paper on your desk within the last couple of days that gave you some information on how urgent our child and youth behavioral health situation is. And I would just like to point out that we are 33rd in Colorado's overall ranking for children's mental health. That means we are bottom. We are bottom of the nation. We are 38th for prevalence of major depression, and we are 49th for alcohol dependence and illicit drug use. Our children are in crisis, and emergency departments at Children's Hospital have seen a 6 times increase in admissions for suicide attempts. We need to be paying attention. Our children are in angst and in pain, and they need us. So please do attend the Children's Campaign. Learn about the policy needs for our youth. Let's do a better job, Colorado.
Representative Liston.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, if I can have your attention, this is an important announcement. Actually, what I'm going to tell you, we're in competition with another. It's not what you think. Don't shake your head. It's not what you think. I'm up here to announce there's actually 2 good meetings that are occurring Thursday. One is the Sportsman's Caucus, which is meeting Thursday the 17th at noon. Fine group. They like animals in a different way. But I'm here to announce that there's another caucus called the Claw Caucus, which is the so-called animal rights, various groups that like animals. We like to pet them, they like to eat them. But anyways, the Claw Caucus will meet this Thursday in Senate Room 357, that's upstairs. And the governor will be there, not to be served, but the governor and his significant other will be there as well. So if you're interested in all that, but noon in Senate Committee Room 357, come up. There will be a lunch provided. If you're interested, there was a sheet on your desk. You need to let the proper person know what you want from Panera Bread. So that will be noon. The Claw Caucus, come up there, learn about animals and all that other good stuff. So room 357 on Thursday. Thank you very much.
Representative Landgraf.
Mine is a follow-up. Come on up. So be sure you go to the Claw Caucus because they have a barking good time. But that's not why I'm up here, so I'll let him go first if I may.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was not going to come up today, but I have to because of Representative Liston. Do not get the idea that those of us in the Sportsman's Caucus do not like animals and have pets. I have mules, dogs, my family has cats, but we also provide sustenance for the chamber. So if you really want a good meal and not one of those that are wrapped up that you can't identify it, because my dad always told me don't eat anything you can't identify because it's more important what it was than what it is. So we have all beef hot dogs Thursday, high noon, actually be about 11:30 so you can make the meal and then get to your meetings. Downstairs, right outside in the lobby. Thank you.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, and I would like to identify, speaking of identifying, former Representative J. Paul Brown, who's standing over there on the side.
Good morning, Representative Brown. Representative Gray, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of Transportation and Local Government Committee, just a reminder, tomorrow afternoon is going to be our first meeting, and lunch on me for the committee to get to know each other a little bit better and talk through about our plans for this year at noon at Sassafras before that. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Nice job.
So, okay, Education Committee, we are meeting at 1:30 today. We're doing bills 1008, 1059, and we are in 107 at 1:30. We'll see you there. Thank you.
And Representative Byrd will replace Representative McCluskey on Education Committee today only. Representative Weissman.
Thank you. And members, while we're doing little reminders, Judiciary will meet 1:30 today. We'll have introductions by some of our relevant staff members, and we'll be hearing about prison population forecasting. See you in 112 at 1:30.
Representative McCluskey.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. After speaking with House leadership, I respectfully request permission to be excused this afternoon from 1 to 4 o'clock.
Permission granted. Thank you, Representative McCluskey. Representative Esgar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I have two announcements. First of all, on your desk, you have the One Colorado Legislative Kickoff Invitation. That will be Thursday night, 5 to 7 at Hudson Hill on 13th Avenue. Please feel free to come and join us. And also, Madam Speaker, I need your assistance. I believe we may have some treason happening in the state of Colorado. I came in this morning, and on my desk, there's a Hatch Chili Festival t-shirt. And I believe it's someone in this caucus, this caucus, that put this on my desk. And I do want to say that this is an act of treason, as Pueblo chilies are Colorado's chilies. So when I figure out who that is, I would hope that you would help me impose a very strict fine, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Esgar. I'm all about fines. I'm all about the Pueblo chili. However, I can assist.
Thank you very much.
Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee will be meeting at 1:30 this afternoon in LSB-A to hear two bills, House Bill 1046 by Representatives Williams and Lontine, and Representative 1007 by Representative Sirota.
Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Two announcements. If you haven't already seen in the lobby, a lot of our constituents are there today for 350.org Lobby Day, so please take some time and go say hi to your constituents in the lobby. They're very excited, actually. They didn't even know we had one earlier today, so my constituents are really excited to know where the lobby is, and now they know where to find me. Also, I've requested permission to be excused tomorrow morning, as I will be meeting with folks from the Opioid Task Force up in Boulder County. I've asked permission of both the Speaker and the Majority Leader.
Permission granted. Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, mark your calendars for Thursday, January 24th for the first Health Caucus meeting. Also, second, on the Pueblo chili and the Hatch chili, we're going to have a competition down in Pueblo to see which chili is better out of the two states. So I'm welcoming New Mexico Hatch chili to come up to Pueblo to have that challenge with some of the best chili in Colorado down in Pueblo.
Representative Exum.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. It's a pleasure to serve with you.
It is a pleasure to serve with you, Representative.
I have asked for permission and granted permission to be off on next Thursday, the 31st, to take care of some things in the Springs.
Permission granted. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, you have this letter on your desk. It is about amendment policies, so please take a look at it. Keep in mind that if you have an amendment to a member's bill, first and foremost, you should tell the member that you have an amendment. So let's be polite in how we interact with one another. But also, if it's more than 1 page long, it has to be distributed within 24 hours of the committee hearing or the bill coming up on the floor. So please take a look at that letter and keep in mind that committee chairs have the authority to change that policy for their individual committees. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Members, the offender of the Hatch chili shirt has been identified. It's Representative McKean. Representative McKean, that's a $1 fine. That's all. You are the first person fined. Representative McKean.
Hot diggity dog. Thank you, Madam Chair. So I'm the first person that's been fined this year.
Wait.
Oh, hold on. Could that be $2?
I'm going to let it pass for now.
Okay. Getting my wallet out and everything. It is an honor to serve with you, Madam Speaker.
It is an honor to serve with you, Representative McKean.
Thank you. So I'm the first person that's actually being fined today, and I think that we all might want to just take a moment and pause and realize that it was not only a Republican that is being fined, but a small business owner, and I think. So thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Are there any other announcements and introductions? Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until later today.
The House will be in recess till later today. That is really fun.